It's a slice of Australian territory 1,500 kilometres off the east coast. But for decades, Norfolk Island has had its own parliament with sovereign powers over immigration, taxation, customs and quarantine. A recent slump in tourist numbers has undercut the main source of revenue, forcing the island to seek a bailout from the federal government worth almost $4 million. The deal comes with strings attached that will see islanders paying income tax for the first time and giving them access to welfare benefits. But some Norfolk Islanders are not so keen to surrender their independent status. Greg Niskelly reports.
It's famous as a penal colony, a place of almost unthinkable brutality. But today, Norfolk Island is a carefree and unique location with its own laws and customs. It flies its own flag, and wearing seatbelts is optional. But waving g'day at your neighbour is not. It's also a place where paying income tax and rates is unheard of, and livestock have right-of-way on the road.
The first matter before us this morning is minutes.
David Buffett is the island's chief minister, and he's served in 12 previous assemblies since self-rule began here in 1979, including 4 times as leader.
Everyone has experienced the global financial situation, and that has not passed Norfolk Island by. We needed to take the initiative in this financial year, and reasonably early in this financial year, to be able to survive this financial year, and that's dire.
We're on Australian territory, Australian passports, New South Wales postcode, but we don't vote in Australian elections.
Tourism is the lifeblood of this place, but in recent years the number of visitors has dropped dramatically. So, in 2007, the local government took over financial control of the island's struggling and unprofitable jet airline service, Norfolk Air.
We're running an airline because nobody else wants to run an airline to this place. That's really it in a nutshell.
Late last year, a memo of understanding was signed between Norfolk Island and the Commonwealth. In exchange for almost $4 million in emergency funding, a major reform process was agreed to. Many Norfolk Islanders now feel betrayed by their own government.
You want the money, here's the trade-off. And that's our self-government gone down the gurgler.
Rick Robinson is the community leader of the island's Pitcairn descendants. His British and Tahitian ancestors first settled on Pitcairn Island after the famous mutiny on board Captain Bligh's Bounty.
All 193 people came here to live from Pitcairn. Since then, we've been recognised by the UN as the indigenous people of Norfolk Island. It's our homeland, and that's the part a lot of Canberra people don't understand. It's our homeland.
There's a land that is fairer than day.
In 1856, the islanders took up an invitation from Queen Victoria to inhabit Norfolk. Every year they now pay tribute to their forebears on a public holiday known as Bounty Day. It's a close-knit community where traditions die hard.
Well, that one incorporated...
Rick Robinson's wife is the acclaimed author Colleen McCulloch. Born in Australia, she's called the island home for 32 years.
It's a kind of 30 pieces of silver situation, really, because the amount of money concerned the Australians spend on fireworks. They have these people following them round with rolls of toilet paper and brown noses.
Next month, Simon Crean, the Minister for External Territories, plans to visit the island. He can expect quite a reception.
He will be full of political zeal for political systems which are not suitable for 2,000 people on a speck in the middle of an infinity of ocean.
Local environmentalists say this open-air tip is an example of where Norfolk Island needs more modern solutions. Plastic rubbish and building waste are simply burnt and then just dumped into the sea.
The environment has been getting less and less allocation of funds over the years, a very, very small proportion.
We're burning toxic materials. We do not even have the capacity to measure the extent to which we are polluting our water, our waterways and our air. These things have to change.
Mike King is the sole ALP member in the island's assembly and describes himself as the leader of the opposition.
No one wants to pay income tax, but I think more people realise now that that's the only solution that's available to us, the only progressive solution that is available to us.
It's one of the most remote communities in the world, and one without a safe anchorage. Using the 19th century skills of their ancestors, everything, including cars and trucks, is unloaded from a small supply vessel. It looks romantic, but there are huge costs.
If you want to buy fresh milk, it's $7 a litre. If you want to buy a kilo of yoghurt, which is a pot, $16. And yes, we don't pay tax, but we have a lot of other levies and fees that we pay. The freight charges, for example, just to bring goods here are just horrendous. And so the cost of our goods here are much more expensive than what you pay anywhere else in the world.
Thank you. It's table number 17.
Robin Mengetti supplies her popular restaurant with pasture-fed beef bred on her own property. Before she married a local farmer, Robin Mengetti served as the island's CEO, and she says the need for reform was apparent years ago.
It's not like in Australia, if you've got a local council, they deal with rubbish and roads. Here we deal with rubbish, roads, immigration, customs, schools. You're talking about a population of less than 2,000, being able to sustain all those services with a government infrastructure which is horrendous in comparison to the size of the community. It all had to burst at some stage, and I think that's what's happened.
Tell me, what's that in there, that blue one? That's herb, not?
No, it's herb.
Yeah.
At Kingston Pier, Archie Biggs and Les Quintal are speaking the Norfolk language, a salty mix of 18th century English and Tahitian. Once hidden from outsiders, today it's being passed on in the island's schoolrooms.
We're culturally different, and it is very important for us to have some form of self-government. Australia's always been in the background. At the end of the day, we can't live without Australia. So if we can work harmoniously together, I think that would be a fantastic outcome. As an example, on my passport it says that I'm an Australian. I'm fine about that, but in my heart I'm a Norfolk Islander.
At a sunset dinner for tourists, these local girls are performing the famous Tamaray. Next month, they will be travelling to Tahiti, both to dance and explore their Polynesian heritage.
Norfolk Island's unique. There is no other place like it. There will always be places that retain their own unique flavour. I would hate to see that go.
That's a danger that Norfolk Island will face in some of the ways ahead. I don't share the view that it will be lost. It may mean that we need to work harder and fight harder for its preservation and encourage further, even amongst our own, that it is important and should be preserved.
Locals talk of 4 different eras of settlement here, from the ancient Polynesians who seemingly came and left, to 2 harsh penal colonies, both eventually abandoned, to today's independent community founded by the Pitcairn Islanders more than 150 years ago. Many are wondering if this current era is also coming to an end.
We're going to lose our culture, and that's all mixed up with our way of life, and that would be more than just sad. It'd be a calamity.
Greg Miskelly reporting from Norfolk Island.